drive yourself, like get outside and trust that you're good at what you do. Because even in the beginning, if you don't have a lot of reinsurance on your belief, there's gonna be those people that do believe in you and trust that, and look in the mirror and be like, man, I'm doing this for a reason.
Right.
Like the reason you're doing this is because you want to create and you believed in yourself to even start this podcast or start, getting a pen and pad out. So you got to believe in yourself, and that was something that took me a long time, almost up to this point.
Still believing,
to even get out there. So.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Walk with Drew. Thank you guys for joining me. On this episode, like I say, every episode is a special episode. For this episode, we have a designer here with me, Shane from Westcott Studio. How you doing today?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm glad to have you. So we were talking off air. How I found out about who Shane was I was interviewing a young citizen from episode 17, and he was wearing one of Westcott's hats. And I was like, yo, like, what's that design? Like, I ain't never seen this design before. Like who's that? What's up, my man Westcott? I'm like, who is that? Like, okay. And then I followed him on Instagram. And actually, let me show you too, because he actually brought me a goodie bag. I'm actually gonna step off camera for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
He actually brought me a goodie bag. He showed love. He brought a goodie bag through with some goods, and I'm just like, okay, cool. So, got the tote. This tote is hard. Appreciate the design.
Yes, sir.
And then got a hat. Put that in there. It's hard. That's hard, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
That's hard. And then got some shirts. Man, you showing love, dog. Yeah. Look at the shirts, dog. That's hard,
we do
bro.
A lot about dying, so that's some hand-dyed stuff right
Are you
there.
hand-dyed?
Yes, sir. We hand-dyed.
We're going to get into that.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into that. And then there's another shirt, too. Man, this is hard. I might rock these joints today, homie.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's hard, bro.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he ain't even been in the city for 10 years, but he's one of the hardest in the city.
So. I appreciate that, man.
He's one of the hardest in the city. He ain't
been
been in the city for 10 years, and he's one of the hardest in the city.
Yes,
that's
sir.
just off rip. So that's just off rip. That's one of the things that's like kind of drew me to you, because it's just like, yo, like the designs, like we were talking off camera. A lot of times when you see people who are designers or they create some type of design, it's usually just logos on T-shirts, and it's not really getting into like a whole concepts and fonts. Like with Shane, like everything is like a certain type of font, certain type of vibe, certain type of wording, like stuff that you've never seen before. Usually what everybody kind of creates is stuff that's copied.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, so get into, just tell people a little bit about yourself.
Right. So like you said, I'm Shane Farrow. I'm from Mania, North Carolina, the Outer Banks, Wright Brothers area. But where I grew up, it's called Westcott Park. Yeah, Westcott Park, born and raised. All my friends, we stayed in this area. It's so it draws me back to childhood. So Westcott, you'll see a lot of my designs are very playful, energetic, positive energy, because it just reminds me of my childhood growing up, man. That it's just, when I think about it, it's just bright lights, bright colors, and things like that.
I love it.
Westcott Park is where I was born and raised. Then I moved out to Wilmington for a couple of years, and then I came out to here around like 2013.
Okay.
I moved out to the Charlotte area, started in Kannapolis. Now I live in University. But yeah. So I've been out here for a little bit. It just really, my art and concepts just come from just positive energy, man. It's really what I try to drive. I feel like a lot of streetwear brands try to catch you by, being a little bit more risque and different things like that. But when I design, I want you to put on clothes that automatically feel good to you. Right. Not just the garment feel good. Yeah. When you put it on, you're like, today's gonna be a good day. So that's what
that's hard. That's hard. A lot of people don't put that much thought into it. Yeah. So was it always designed for you, like, or was there another medium that you expressed your creativity growing up through?
I mean, growing up, hip hop, music in general. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I wasn't a big like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Just like alternative style music has always been my thing. I listen to a lot of Tame Impala now, just a lot of alternative style. But at the same time, like hip hop, growing up, was my thing. My dad's a DJ.
Okay.
So he put me on early. Big Daddy Kane, Rakim.
Okay.
I'm listening to that at like 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all I'm listening to. So I'm a big Tribe Called Quest. Just hip hop in general is a big motivation to me. So I wouldn't say I created music, but I lived through that. Like lived through, like that is it for me. You know what I mean? So anytime that I draw from stuff or put my first creativity and thought, it's music. It's music driven for sure.
Word. So when was the first time you put pen to pad and was like, yo, I'm gonna become a designer, I'm gonna do this design thing?
First time to be honest with you, the very first time I definitely started on pen and pad for sure. I used to draw hats.
Okay.
My first thing collecting before, like, I'm into shoes for sure, but hats was my thing. Like, all my friends would tell you I had dresser drawers full of hats. So I would design hats probably, I don't know, like since my senior year, I would just always be designing hats and paper. And then, people would, they're like, dang, that's some, dope art. Like, that's really sick. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I was like, bump it all. I get into some Adobe Illustrator. So probably around like 2011, self-taught. Just going off of YouTube, figuring things out. My first design ever was a circle, a square, and a triangle. They just put together. That was the first design I ever, and I was like, but I told the story with it because I put behind it that these were the building blocks when you were a child, and so like those are the first things you were taught to play with, to create with, was those shapes. So like, I learned how to do storytelling before I even knew how to design.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's some design school type stuff. Because I'm like, because that's like on some Kanye for real type. Kanye for real. People will pay $100 for a shirt with those three symbols on it or whatever. So that's, and I mean, I don't think Kanye, I don't know if he went to school or not. Kanye, if that's please don't get mad at me. But I think he had some type of training. But at the same time, like, yo, like for you, it's just like self-taught. You said you mentioned drumline. You said you very drumline.
Yeah, very. I always try to compare my work kind of like Nick Cannon and drumline. Like I don't technically wise, I don't know how to read what that's putting out, but when I see it visually, I know it's good to me. So because to me, there's really no flaws in art. That's just your style. So however you're creating things is really going to be your style. I don't ever want to compare or say that we do the same thing in no disrespectful way, because it's just going to be like anything I do wrong is not really wrong. It's just like how I present it to you.
Where'd that mindset shift come from to think about it like that?
I mean, hip hop music. I mean, when you think about it, like I'm big into I love like freestyle rap. I love just like the whole art of it. So like you can say the craziest things in your rhymes, and you could do like the wildest things in like one take and just put it out to the world. And like Lil Wayne was killing cats just saying the craziest stuff in like 2008, 2007. He was just going in on every track, like not caring, like and how he put it out. And it's just his style. And like no one can even mimic that to this day. So it's just like, put it out. Like don't hold on to your art because it's not for you to hold on to. Like so that's just
I agree with that. I agree with that. Sometimes like I had an interview last night and it wasn't like my best. Like I interviewed somebody last night, it wasn't like my best, but I'm like, you can't hold on to that because they still dropped a lot of gems on there or whatever. So it's just like you still got to put it out there. Even in my creativity, sometimes it's just like not every single interview is gonna be if you had a grading scale like a 100.
Yeah,
every single piece of thing. Yeah, it's not gonna be. Yeah,
you have if you say you grade yourself 100 every time that you put out, it's just you're not leaving yourself room to improve. Number one, so it's like now you're saying it to like you're perfect every time out. No, Jordan was going out there trying to give you 45 and then 50 the next, and then 60 the next. So you're never going to be perfect at your craft. You're always just going to get better. So that was the beauty of being self-taught too. So learning all the curves of what not to do. Definitely had trash designs for sure. But at the same time, I took from the trash part, erased that, and added it to my next one, what I thought was good. You know? So then you get to where you're at now.
So like, what would you say is like the process of like your creativity? Like when you're thinking about a design, like what's the first thing you go to, and then how do you always get print?
So I would say starting off is there's two ways. So if you're ever working with someone, so this year I'm definitely pushing to be more collaborative, to work with others. So when you're doing that, you try to build off of a concept. But if I'm working by myself, it goes back to the music again. I'll turn my music on. I'll put get in my car, put the windows down, feel that weather, and then just just ride around, just see what lyrics like motivate you to create more, and I really start from there. So from there, I dig and see, what did I get from this music? Like, what energy did I just receive, so I can put it back out?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I listen to a lot of positive. I listen to a lot of like driven music. I'm not big into a lot of negativity on that side, because especially when I'm creating, because I want to put that positive out. So whatever you put in is what you get out. So I start from there, and then, to be honest with you, man, I'm just on the laptop just playing. It's hard to put in words.
So are you an Illustrator or you in Photoshop?
Definitely an Illustrator.
Okay.
Photoshop was a little bit too techy.
Yeah. I had to get on Photoshop, and I just play with it. I just started playing with buttons. Like, I literally discovered like blending options. Like last year, I was like, oh, you can right click and hit blending options, and then do something different. Because I was playing, man, it changed my whole world.
What's crazy though is like, so when you find that button, right? It's like, oh, this button does that.
Yeah.
Just think about, you went so deep onto those other sections, like you mastered that so well that now you're adding another thing to it. So it's like, oh shoot, I'm about to kill him when I know how to do this. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like when I find something new, but going from there, I take my designs, any type of graphics that I have a few, homies that give the outside eye. For the most part, I do create for myself. You know what I mean? I do create for something that I love first. If I don't really like it, then I'm not even gonna test it out with my friends. But after that, I send it out to some homies, man. If they rocking with it, good energy, good feedback, then we taking it out, man. Seeing how we can create it, see what we can do with it.
That's dope. That's dope, for real. So another thing I wanted to get into, so you talked about how Westcott, I honestly thought that was your name for a second, but you said it's from where you come. Can you talk about the mission and vision behind Westcott Studio?
So in the beginning of me creating, so as soon as I picked up Illustrator, I had a brand. It was called Elevated NC Artists. So I created because I wanted to help my friends. They did a lot of music, a lot of different things, but starting that brand was for basically them. Like, I want to do merch for them and different things like this. But Westcott is for me. That's why I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about my home. I'm talking about the stuff that I want. So Westcott is solely driven off of how my emotions are. And that's what took my art to a different level when I started creating for myself. When you create for others, there's so much judgment that's in there.
Right.
That it's really, I think your vision gets lost at times. You know what I mean? So it's just really like, Westcott is just a soul. You can call it Shane. Like, you can call me Westcott because that's just what it is. And I wanted to use something that really meant a lot to me. And that's just growing up where I was from, that part meant a lot. So.
Okay. So when you mentioned earlier how hip hop is like a huge influence, were there any type of fashion designers or even if it was hip hop artists that kind of influence your art?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, design wise, I'm a big Nego fan, Pharrell.
Don't know who Nego is. I'm gonna find out who Nego is after this.
I'm a big Nego fan. Sean Stussy, so that's Stussy, designer Stussy. Like, those are like, growing up, surf shops. The Outer Banks is a beach town, so like any type of surf shops, like we was big on those waves. And then musically, like, I just like, almost like the flashier stuff. In a subtle way, so we're like a Dipset, Fabulous, like those rap, bro. Like, just looking at like jerseys, like all that, like the colors, man. The colors is what really attracted me. I always wanted like bright colors, man.
And that's what gravitated me towards your brand, because I'm looking on the website, like when Citizen first told me, I'm like, oh, let me go on the website. I'm like, oh wow, this is light blue, this is yellow. So, because I'm like, that's kind of like what my brand, like with my media company, like I want it to be like something that's bright and like colorful, and I'm always known for that. Like, I'll wear a bright orange like sweatshirt. Like, my favorite color is neon yellow. Like, I like bright colors.
For sure. I got something for you. I didn't know that. So I got some.
You got some neon yellow?
Yeah, I got something for you. I'm gonna send it your way for sure.
That's because I love neon yellow, man. For real, for real. So what would you say is like the hardest thing about being a designer?
About being a designer is learning when to let it go. To be honest with you,
that's everybody. That's every creator.
Yeah, learning. I feel like I have a lot of friends right now, or like people that I work in parallel with. They just have so much dope work, but they're just like nervous about letting it go because either they're perfectionists or it's just not right. Yeah, I'm just like, man, this is heat. Like, let it out, man, because how someone reacts to it is the energy that you're looking for. To be honest with you, you don't know it yet. But like when someone walks up to you and be like, or this interview, like, man, I saw your pod, bro. That junk is crazy. Like, I'm watching every episode. That feeling right there is what drives you more than the money, more than anything else to keep going. Because you'll be surprised, like, when people ain't buying the shirts and stuff, and I walk around and somebody see me with it, and they're like, "Yo, that's ill." I'm like, "All right, guys, hey, say no more."
So I'm saying,
going back into it. So letting it out, like having it out there, is a hurdle. I feel like a lot of designers have in general, or creatives too.
So, like, what's the biggest lesson that you learned thus far on your journey with that?
Believe in yourself, like drive yourself, like get outside and trust that you're good at what you do. Because even in the beginning, if you don't have a lot of reinsurance on your belief, there's gonna be those people that do believe in you and trust that, and look in the mirror and be like, man, I'm doing this for a reason.
Right.
Like the reason you're doing this is because you want to create and you believed in yourself to even start this podcast or start. Getting the pen and pad out. So you got to believe in yourself. And that was something that took me a long time, almost up to this point. Still believing. To even get out there. So.
Yeah. Like, one thing that you said is, like, getting outside. That's one thing I think creatives need to do more often. Like, I think a lot of times, like, creatives, everybody pictures us like, okay, we supposed to be shelled away in an office, which I am. I'm on my computer 12 hours a day. But at the same time, I think it's something so beneficial about getting outside. Like, when everything was shut down in the beginning of the quarantine, I was going to this park that I went to yesterday. But I was going to this park. It's nice by some water, and just get out there and just walk in. I was out there every single day. And I'm like, I couldn't go nowhere else, but I'm like, I refuse to stay inside because, like, my creativity is going to dry up. At least I feel like that.
Nah, for sure, man. I feed off the weather. I'm terrible in the wintertime. Like,
really?
Design,
I love winter.
I push my design.
I really love winter.
I push myself so hard to design good stuff in the wintertime, but the summertime, it's just something about that warm weather, coming from the beach, like you can just smell it in the air. It's just like, yo, my colors pop. Like, I just love the weather to be.
Sound like you made for California, man.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's from California.
Okay,
so I got family out there. But it's just.
I feel that. Yeah, I love cold weather. But one of the biggest reasons why is, like, for me as a creative. Like, I think how some creatives, like, they feed off the weather and they need like you outside and whatever. I'm like, the cold weather, like, it's like grinding to me. Like grinding. I'm tucked away. Time to hustle.
No,
like, I'm grinding. I'm tucked away or whatever, and it helps me focus because ain't a lot going on outside. People are not moving.
Fair enough.
So I'm like, and then also too, it get fits off too. So I'm like, these long sleeve tees.
That's what I'm learning.
Tees, like, you get fits off in the winter, man. I can't get that many fits off. Like, unless you got some shorts. You coming out with some shorts?
Yeah, definitely. Summertime is. I'm telling you.
Okay, you got some. Okay, so I'm gonna cop some shorts there for real, because I'm like, I need that, because I'm like, that's the only thing. I'm like, I like wintertime, but I'm like, the wave now is like shorts. Like, everybody has different types of shorts and the shirts and stuff like that. So that's like the wave for people. So I'm like, if I don't want to just be outside in some Under Armour shorts, like with my J's on.
And people don't like wearing neon yellow in the wintertime though. That's what I'm saying.
I'd wear neon.
People like the browns, the yellows.
Nah, I wear neon yellow.
That's not the temperature of colors that I usually work on. You know what I mean?
See, I'm the opposite. I will rock. Ask any one of my friends. I will rock neon yellow in the wintertime. Or like bright orange. Like, I'll rock it because that, like, to me, like, though it's not the colors for it, like, it makes it pop because nobody has it on. Everybody has black and brown on, and then here I am with some bright orange pants. I got orange pants in my house. I'm gonna wear some orange pants like a couple weeks. I got some orange pants in my house. So yeah, I'm all about, like, no matter whatever the season, it's just like all bright colors because I love it. So, like, what's the funnest thing about, like, being a designer?
Seeing that product that first time. All my friends would tell you, man, like, when I get that, I'm so hyped when I see it. Like, this is better than I imagined. Like, because there's one thing when you get it and have it on your books or even an illustrator, but once you have it in hand and it is what you thought it was gonna be, it's just nothing like that feeling, man. Yeah. Every single time, it makes you want to make more. It's just addictive, you know what I mean?
So that's like favorite part of the process is the end.
Yeah, no, by far, you see it. It's like, yo, I made this. Like, this is something that I created for myself, and other people enjoy it, and that's cool and all. But it's fire too. Like, so that's probably my favorite part, really. Like, getting it fresh off the press, man. That's it.
Yeah. So, and with that, I wanted to ask you. So, one thing, if you look at a lot of his designs have a lot of different fonts, a lot of different shapes and stuff like that. Like, would you also kind of contribute that to just, like, your process, like you just going outside feeling the weather? Like, where do like 100%. The fonts and the different styles come from?
I do work whenever I can. That's one thing I take pride in is, like, if I got 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm trying to cook something up. It doesn't matter if I got a break here or there. I got something I need to do. I'll wake up 6 o'clock in the morning if I got to go to work later in the evening and do what I need to do. I don't have to set like a day, like this is the day and I'm gonna design. So I'm very on the whim with it. And since I work off of the energy that I'm receiving in, it's just gonna be different at that time. So however I'm feeling kind of goes with your mood. So yeah, definitely. I take pride in wanting things to be different and unique. That's why we hand dye stuff. That's when I just I don't have many of different sizes and different things. I want you to feel like this is a piece that is for you. You know what I mean? Every time. And I know financially it's not really the strongest.
Yeah, because I don't say you're trying to scale. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to scaling, yeah, of course. But right now I'm not at the point where I'm selling like 5,000 shirts a day. So it's like right now being unique is something that I can really capture at this stage. And I feel like in the times where everybody's trying to, have the same sneakers and same this and same that, like why not push the envelope when it comes to uniqueness? So I feel like that's a hand dyeing things and different colors and using different stuff is where you can be unique, because you can have the same size and you can have the same color, but it's the textures and the fits and the way it goes is going to be just different.
Yeah, it's all hand dyed too. That's crazy.
Yeah, so everything's gonna be smooth.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk to me about this design. This design right here.
Right. So this right here, man. So I recently had a daughter. About a year and a half ago now. So shout out to my daughter Jada one time. So when I came up with this design, man, like having children would definitely change your perspective on the world, like how things are going in the world.
Right.
So I just want, even though times are crazy, I definitely want like my daughter to go into a world where she can feel joy and peace and like enjoy the way the earth is. Right now, we all know it's shaky, we know it's crazy, but there's still times when it's around you. It's like you have family, you have friends that enjoy your company, that you enjoy being around.
Right.
Like, let's be together. Let's enjoy this peace that we have with me and you, like right now. Like, even though things could be crazy outside, like we are enjoying. Like, people harp on such stuff that's so bad all the time. Right. Like, but we're chilling right now. Like, we're having a good time right now. Right. So that's kind of like where a lot of my pieces come from, especially that one. It's just enjoying time together and peace and art together,
Cool. So I wanted to ask you too. So you kind of talked about like the feelings that you try to capture. If you could put to words, give me 3 words in terms of feeling that you try to capture with your art.
I say energy, peace, and vibrations. Basically, those are the 3 things that I aim for every time. So I want you feel energy to get up, do what you need to do, be hype about like what you got going on, and the peace is just finding peace of mind and just enjoying what's around you. And then the vibrations, I want that good vibrations, man. I want you to get loose, man. I want it to feel good. Like that's the number one. Is just that feel good, man. Is what I'm searching for. So. Like that's why I use the like with the emoji talk. That's why I use the batteries.
Yeah, that's because if you follow him online, anytime you post something, it's always the battery. It's always some type of energy. Sometimes.
So like me and my boy Justin, man, who designs also parallel with me, is just with his brand. Like when we see stuff, it's like the energy is up. Like check us out. Like that's what when we getting that product in our hand, like big battery emojis, man. It's the energy in our back to keep going. So. When I see people doing their thing, I just like to throw that out there. Like, keep going. Like, don't stop with that. That's fire. Let's keep it going. So.
So, like, what would be some advice that you would give to like a young designer getting out there?
Try things. Like, just try it. Like, you never know like what you're gonna be good at until you start like throwing it out there. Just see what sticks. Like a lot of. Like, you'll get that question when you're younger, like, what do you want to be in 5 years? Like, how can you really, really know that if you never even tried certain things? Now, there's certain people that's, like, locked in. Like, this is what I'm about to do. Right. Like, no matter what. Right. But when it comes to creatives, for the most part, we're usually talented at anything that surrounds that field. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just, like, throw them darts out there. Like, just try that. Like, it might not work. Don't be scared to fail about that. But, like, throw it out there and see what you can add to what you need to do. So just trying different things is probably the biggest thing, I would say. Yeah,
I think that's a goal for me, too. Like, I think trying different things, and I think another piece of advice I give people is just, like, how can I say it? Shun criticism. Shun criticism. Yeah. Because it's like within trying that, like one thing I always tell people, just like people give advice to you or whatever, but they come from a standpoint that they never even stepped out before. So it's just like they're talking from a standpoint and telling you, oh, you shouldn't be doing this or oh, just do this, but it's just like you didn't do it. You know
Especially
what I'm saying?
the first 6 months,
right?
Especially that first year, first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like right now, I'm not trying to hear that. I need that gas. I need that battery.
Right.
Like right now, I need that battery because if I slip just a little bit, now I'm thinking about what my homie said. Like it ain't gonna work. Now I'm like, all right, you're probably right. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But nah, jump out there. Don't worry about what people saying that's gonna be negative. Accept the gas, the fuel to keep going what you need to do, and then just make sure that you stay focused on your goal and go from there.
So, like we're in the middle of a pandemic right now. Can you kind of talk about like how you kind of shifted? Like, where were you at the beginning of this pandemic, and like how has your creativity, if any, had to shift or been affected with everything going on?
So, I would probably say the number one thing would be I wasn't as much hands-on as when it came to dyeing things and screen painting things. Like, I would go through shops and do different stuff like that. But once the pandemic hit, shutting it down, I was like, I can't stop. So I'm gonna start buying screen printing equipment.
You got a screen printer?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you can do it in different ways. You can buy the screens, and you can press them yourself. So a lot of my designs that I was coming up early pandemic was hand screen printed, hand dyed, like spray dyeing things, just because I have to create. This is something that if I don't, I almost like get depressed or anxiety and stuff like that. This is therapy to me. So I have to create. So it was just to the point where it's like, all right, these print shops ain't working. They're not doing this, so bump it. I'm going to order the equipment myself. Yeah. Start doing it. I learned how to do it self-taught. I already self-taught do it that way, so why
crazy.
Not? And that's what I also learned that from Nico, because I watched, like, Nico was doing that himself. People that I looked up to learned how to do it themselves. Not saying they do it now, but it was just a technique. It's fun. Yeah. Like, doing this is fun. Yeah. This is a job, but it's like almost a professional basketball player or football player. Like, they're playing a sport. Yeah, so, but they enjoy the sport. Yeah. So like, if you're not doing what you enjoy, like why? Yeah. Like why are we doing this? Yeah. And if I enjoy it, I'm down to try a different way. Like let's add to it. Let's see what we can do. So that was probably the biggest thing during the pandemic is just adding more talent or adding more skills. I would say. Too, so.
I'm gonna have to come through it and get on video for y'all. Like, cause I'm like I ain't because usually that's gonna be a question of mine too. Is just like that process. Like a lot of designers coming up. Like I said, I was telling you, it's just logo on T-shirt. We go on Spreadshirt, or we get the logo. We go to Carolina Made, or we go to whoever's out here or whatever, and just get it printed up. But I'm like, you really like in the trenches with it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel like you can learn a lot from that. It's just basically now knowing, all right, what they go through, how things work on their end, and then even if you say, all right, well, screen printing is not for me. Like I'm not gonna do it myself. Right. Like, but I do know, like, all right, this works better if I do this, or now with my designs, I can shape it. Like, all right, I know the capabilities of screen printing or director print or like anything of that nature. So everything that you go through is something that you learn. It's like, hey man, I can add that. Like or if I add somebody to my team, now I know what I'm looking for. Like, all right, I know this is what I want. So if you can't do that, then there's no need to be on the team. But if you can do that, let's go. Like, with it, so.
That was me too. Because I'm like, Photoshop. Like 3 years ago, if you would tell me I would be on Photoshop doing designs, like I'd be laughing at you. I'm like, what? Like, because I'm like, but it started like I think it's kind of like that same kind of feel when like rappers, like they don't have studio time, so they create their, you know what I'm saying, they learn how to do it. Like with me, I'm like, I wanted the graphics and wanted all my designs, you know what I'm saying, but I didn't know how to get it, so I downloaded a cracked version of Photoshop and started playing with Photoshop.
It was definitely bootleg. Like, what are you talking about? All that, man, my computer was sounding like 1997. I had the crazy bootleg back then. The dang menus don't even look the same.
Yeah, the same.
Coming up, Kanye West making his own beats, having the best album, late registration, and all that. I'm like, yo, he's making his own, and he has fire raps. I'm gonna make my own. Like, why am I gonna sit there and try to go pay somebody to design some stuff that's not even gonna do it how I wanted it to be done? Right. You know what I mean? So let's learn it ourselves.
Yeah. See, the thing, the only place that I got discouraged with that was with rapping, because I'm like, that's why I stopped rapping. I was rapping, and then I'm like, how much for a mix?
Yeah.
I said, yo, it's $300 to mix one song? Hey, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. So I put the pen down. I'll eventually, once I get the resources, I'm gonna pick it back up and start rapping again. But I'm like, that's the reason why I stopped rapping, because I'm like, how much to make a song, because if you go on like my SoundCloud, I'm not gonna tell you or anybody SoundCloud, but the SoundCloud raps that I had, the song just cut off. There was no fade, there was no nothing. It just cut off because I didn't know how to do anything. I just knew how to taper it off and end it and start it. So so that's the reason why I just stopped.
But I feel like those hurdles when they're in your way, those are really the test to know, like, are you in it for the long haul?
Right.
You know what I mean? No offense to, like,
right. Nah, for real. Yeah, for real.
Like,
I picked up the camera. That's
exactly. Like, because you're willing to take those risks.
Right.
You're willing to, like, financially to put those risks to the side, like, because this is what you want to do.
Right.
Like, when people are like, man, like, why, you spent X amount on this drop, like, and it didn't really come. Like, nah, this is what I want. I don't even think about that part.
Right.
Like, because I'm just a creative. Like, that's just what I am. Like, I want to put it out, so I'm going to put it out.
And then, too, like, I think it gets back to, like, the ownership part of it, too. Like, you own everything that, you know what I'm saying, that you're doing, so nobody can take it away from you.
And they can't judge you on the way that you put it out, because you are the one, like, this is you. This is what you wanted to do, so own that.
Right. So what are some plans? Like we mentioned shorts and we mentioned some other stuff. What are some plans for Westcott Studio in 2021?
Definitely want to go more in depth with concepts as whole albums. I mean, I would definitely am more of like a mixtape vibe. Like I'm just putting out singles. But I definitely want to put more of a whole album out when it comes to my collections. And I also want to get out more, as in like, let the brand flourish more, meet more people with the brand, be more connected within the city. Right. Since I'm not from here, it's just learning the ropes and like going out. But this year is just cut and sew, just different things like that. I just want to add more depth, man. I want my brand to look and feel like it's here for the long haul. You know what I mean? I don't want. My biggest goal is for you to go to a vintage shop 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now and find a tee in there. Like, that's why I want my feel to always be like, dang, this is, and it means something though. Like when you go to vintage shops, like, yo, this is this shirt's fire, and it's from like 97. Like, I want that feel. Like, that's what I drive for. So
that's dope. That's dope.
Just keep pushing this shit.
That's dope. So if you want to shout out your Instagram or your website where people can find you.
Yeah, man, you can check me out on Westcott _ Studios on Instagram. The website will be linked on there. But shoot me the DMs. I like to meet people, man. I like to talk to people. So definitely hit me up in the comments. Hit me up in the DMs. I'm trying to link up, do whatever. So the energy is always going to be up with me. Yeah. So you don't never have to worry about that. And I'm always here to support too. That's the biggest thing, man. It's just like supporting each other as that creatives. You know, see you doing your thing. This beautiful setup in here. It's just like supporting each other. You know?
Yeah, most definitely. He's a genuine dude from beginning to end. Show love with the care package too, because a lot of people don't show love. A lot of people don't show love with the care package. So that's really dope, man. But I'm looking forward to like seeing what else you do this year, Rob. Because I love designs. I love the designs. I love everything that you got going. So I definitely will be a customer because I'm definitely gonna be copping. So I'm not just saying that for the camera. I'm definitely copping because I've thought about copping. So I'm definitely gonna be copping. So I appreciate it. So this has been another episode of Walk with Drew. Thank you guys for joining me. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Get this out to all your friends. I pray you guys were blessed and learned something from this creative, this genuine dude right here. So like I said, this is Drew Moves On. Shane, peace out.
Peace.